Hello and welcome to a new video on my channel. I'm Adam and this is Battle of the Beasts All Generation episode number 3. This is my third attempt at recording this intro because I butchered it the first 2 times. Well, the first time I butchered it, the second time I got it a bit wrong, third time got it right, but then when I did the stat department on these 2 beasts, I got it in the wrong order. And so this is my 4th attempt actually. So hopefully I actually get it right this time. So today we got 2 more beasts fighting it out for a spot in round 2. Unfortunately, I don't really care for these beasts very much. I guess I prefer, I don't know, the first one more than the second one. But it's not a major liking, I need to say. So with that, let's introduce these beasts. So, representing Series 12, The Darkest Hour, Book Number 1, Solak, Scourge of the Sea. And, on the other side, representing Series 14, The Cursed Dragon, also Book Number 1, Raffkor, the Stampeding Brute. So both of these beasts I don't really care for. Like, they're not terrible, but they're not great. I guess, as a starter book, Raffkor is better. But that's because Series 12 doesn't really have the high stakes I expect of it. But anyway, let's get to the stats.
Solak, Scourge of the Sea. Solak is a giant shark-like beast feared by 7 of the bravest sailors. His sleek, silvery body seems to change colour as he slides through the water, offering camouflage, first glowing blue, then indigo, then grey. His eyes stare with cold hatred upon his victims. He has several rows of sharp teeth in his gaping mouth, trailing scrapes of torn flesh, and his many fins are made of serrated bone. Now, onto his stats. Solak has underwater breathing, sharp teeth, bone fins that can draw blood from beasts as tough as crab, tooth regeneration, enhanced speed and strength, thick hide that can survive Sephiron's body slams, and camouflage in water. So, let's see how he does.
Raffkor, the Stampeding Brute. Raffkor, like the other young beasts cared for by Wilfred the Beastkeeper, grew up in the safety of Ryan. He was a good beast until he was turned evil by one of Kent's wicked enchantments. Raffkor's mighty horns produce a magical blue fire that makes him a fearsome opponent. Now, onto his stats. Horn energy blasts create earthquakes and withstand hits. Tough hooves, tough skull. Horns that produce blue fire, which is hotter than regular fire. Let's see how he does in the tournament.
3, 2, 1! Battle!
Solak versus Raffkor. Let's get into this. For the battlefield, we will be having, I would say, an open lake, let's say. So the battlefield and the arena will have a lake there with, so I have a lake in the middle and a bunch of land of greenery and grass on around the edges, like relatively far in as well. Lake is a fair size as well, but underneath the grass is going to be a bunch of underground tunnels filled to the brim with water, so then Solak can travel from one place to another. So with that, relatively creative arena, if you ask me, actually. So as the chamber doors open, Raffkor just makes his way out, stomping through the main chamber door entrance, while Solak goes through the underground one, going underwater, making his way through the tunnels, and eventually making his way to the itchy nose. Making his way to the centre of the arena, poke his head out of the water and stares down his opponent. Raffkor immediately shoots 2 energy blasts from 2 of his horns straight towards Solak, and Solak jumps out of the water and smashes his tail back down onto it, creating a giant water shield to deflect that. And by the time the water's cleared, Raffkor can't see where Solak is. Solak has made his way going through a tunnel, making his way towards Raffkor, and using his fins on his back to slice through the ground, making the ground open up, making Raffkor see where he is, and he lifts up a hoof and slams it down on the ground, causing the entire underground to shake, water to start spewing out of the crack that Solak has made. Solak, realising what he's done, what is happening, he makes his way to the edge of the arena, and seeing that there are little tunnels leading towards other areas of it, other lines, I guess, or spokes, let's say, kind of like a giant clock but underwater, let's say, underground but filled with water. So he goes along the outside to get to another safer area, and he realises he can just make an attempt to submerge the island that Raffkor is on. So Solak just cuts his way around the outside and making his way back towards the centre, making a giant wedge which is starting to sink down. Raffkor, realising his weight is causing it to sink, he makes his way towards another wedge, but Solak is already on his way, making his way round, doing all the other wedges, causing they're all starting to sink, and the water starting to rise up. Solak, for his own safety, gets to the centre of the arena, in the lake area, and stays submerged so Raffkor can't see him, whilst Raffkor is trying to prevent this area from sinking, but he can't do anything. Every step he takes is causing the water to rise up quicker because of how heavy his hoofbeats are. Raffkor turns around to the centre and can just make out the outline, or the light blue outline of Solak. So he shoots 4 energy blasts towards him, and Solak sees that and is able to dodge them by swimming out of the way. And Raffkor starts slamming his hooves down to make the island sink faster and the water to rise up. Raffkor's hooves are being submerged by the water, and Solak uses this moment to his opportunity and jumps out of the water, and then swims and angles his descent to where he's going to chomp down on Raffkor's hoof. Raffkor sees that, shoots 4 bolts of blue fire towards him. Well, no, energy towards him. However, Solak has predicted that, and using his fins, he's able to deflect it all by spinning around like a little counter shield that you see in Pokemon. I'm so glad I was able to do that, actually. Using his fins, he's able to slice past Raffkor's face, just causing a bunch of gashes on his face to appear, and he chomps down on Raffkor's hoof. Because of Raffkor's thick hide, he doesn't feed it as much as he would have done if he didn't have a thick hide, but he can still feed it. Raffkor lifts his hoof up that has Solak on it and starts slamming it down on the ground, causing the ground to shake, water to submerge, rise up quicker, but also is injuring Solak as well. And Raffkor realises, hang on, he can do something else. So he lifts up his other hoof and slams it down on Solak's tail. Solak, realising he's kind of trapped at the moment, tries to wiggle himself free, and by doing that, what he does is he lets go of the hoof that he's biting onto, and turns his whole body round to where he's able to slip out of Raffkor's hoof, and using his fins to cut both of them by the tenloins here, or the wrists, or the ankles, I don't know what they are. Raffkor, feeling the pain, shoots tons of energy blasts towards Solak, who's swimming away, and then Solak uses his tail, creates a giant water shield to repel any other energy blasts, and that giving Solak the time to camouflage himself to hide. He now has access to the entire arena, and Raffkor's the water that Raffkor is in now is reaching up to around there. So Raffkor needs to be careful where he steps because he knows that Solak has the advantage. He sees like a rippling effect of water appearing, and so what Raffkor does is that he shoots more energy blasts towards that. However, Solak was being a bit of a clever cookie here, and created those ripples to appear over there, but really he was on the other side. He jumps out of the water and splashes a bunch of water in the Raffkor's direction, soaking his head entirely, extinguishing the blue fire almost immediately. And then Solak then makes his way towards Raffkor, and using the fins along his back, uses them and slices right through the underside of Raffkor's neck. Blood starts spewing out, making the water turn a crimson shade of scarlet. And Raffkor feels himself getting weaker and weaker until he just collapses in the water and the water submerges him completely. Solak, feeling satisfied with his victory, he swims back to his chamber ready for round 2. So with that, Solak has won, Raffkor has lost. If you think Raffkor should have won, please leave in the comments below why you think that. However, like with round 1 last time in the last tournament, Raffkor has lost and my word is final. Okay, so Solak, I can't really explain why I gave Solak the victory. I think it just has to do with the way and how I presented this battle. But I'm not arguing because I'm not really big fans of any of these beasts. But if I had to say, this one was a relatively close one because I didn't really know what I could have done. But Solak won fair and square. If I narrated it again, Raffkor might have won, but I'm not entirely sure. But with that, that's all for this time. If you like what you saw, leave a like, leave a comment, don't forget to subscribe, press the notification bell down in the corner below, and I'll see you next time.